everyone. You see this fella here. Hey mate. Hello. You don't know what to think, do you? Get lots of these down here. He's not real worried. Anyway, welcome back everyone. There's another thing I'll just show you out the window here for people that don't live in Australia. That's maybe a bit unusual to have this many wallabies and kangaroos and whatnot in your backyard. There's two there, a little and a... There's a big fella, that black one there. After we cut the grass down here, we haven't done that for a while, but just even after slashing it with the tractor, they seem to enjoy eating it a lot more afterwards. So today we're going to do another start-up. Show you these while I'm talking. A couple little grey ones there. Very young, but look at those ones. Today we're going to start, I think, I've been pondering whether to do the G89 Volvo or the 88, and I think we'll do the 88. It hasn't really featured on the show apart from when I started the bonneted, like the N7 up. A few blokes were saying, I'd done a comparison with different stages of rust that these Volvos are in, and that's the only time it's really featured, but it's been in the background of a lot of videos, and a lot of blokes have said, what's the cab over with the white cab over with the green stripe? And it's actually a G88 Volvo. It's a mate of mine, I don't own it. I think it's the only one in the lineup here that I don't. Mate of mine, Josh. Probably seen a few of his other things featured on the channel a few times, but she's been sitting here quite a while. I've just thrown a bit of a snack pack together down here. It's the afternoon here in Sydney, so I've done a bit of work today. I thought I'd come down and put one together for the subscribers. So this here is a G88 Volvo. It's in fairly good condition for a Volvo. It's in exceptional condition for a Volvo of this age. As you can see, I have a G89. Oh, it's over behind that Transstar. It's completely rusted out, and this is my N7 as well, and it's fucking shot. So I think this one come over hanging off the anchor, the bottom of the bloody. This was tied to the rudder, this one, and that one was sitting up on the deck when they come over from Sweden. But she still runs perfect. If you haven't seen that video, go back and have a look when we started it for the first time in, I think, 15 years or something. But this one here is a G88. Now it's in very, very good condition. It's got a bit in it, as you can see there, but it's just compared to the 89 and this one. And this is actually older. It's just this come from Central Australia where it was hauling wheat, some sort of grain. Anyway, back to the silos, just on a massive farm or station out there. You end up getting it because the blokes that owned it, and they still could be right, thought it had a diff problem. When I first got it going, when they got it back here, you put the power divider in, it'll move, but it's only driving off, like, if I get it going, I'm not going to drive it, because for me to put it here was a big headache, because it's only driving off one axle, and when you've got a walking boom suspension, you're only getting half the... They all need to be driving, because it's only half the traction, just takes too much weight off that one axle. But I think it's not a diff problem, I think it's just a snapped axle. I haven't tried to fix it yet, I haven't tried to isolate the problem, but we go there and pop the axles out or jack it up, and you'd be able to tell which one it is fairly quick. I think that's all it is. So this here, I don't know the year. I would think, I'm thinking 72, 68 to 72. I'm guessing. I think the 89 I've got 73. It's a TD100, which means turbo diesel. 100 means 10 litre, and it's rated at 280 horsepower. It's got a 16-speed synchromesh Volvo transmission, fully synchro. So I think you've got a splitter on the dash, and you've got high and low on the stick. I think you got 4 positions on the gear stick or something like that, so you can, yeah, so it's an 8-speed, then you can split every gear with the button on the dash, so it gives you your 16. But the one I've got's got a Road Ranger in it. You can get when these companies that owned it, when they failed, rather than spend you can get a brand new Road Ranger for half the price of quarter of the price of a kit to rebuild this synchro Volvo box. It's got Hendrickson walk and beam suspension under it, as you can see there. It's been sitting here a while. It's got 38,000 pound Rockwell diffs. That's about all I can tell you. I don't really know the history of it. Got 1000 rings on it, which are tube. Looks like might have a radial on the steer, which are 11Rs. They've clean, tubeless. Yeah, it has. Should have 11Rs. Yeah, it does. It's got good tyres on the steer. I think last time I had it going, it's got a series parallel, so it's 24 volt start, but it's got 12 volt system, gauges and lights and alternator and everything else. But it's got a series parallel switch. Now they're a real mongrel of thing, because if you use flatter batteries, you'll burn them out within 20 seconds, and at 350, 400 bucks a hit. You just got to make sure you got fully charged battery. So I don't want to do that. I might just put it straight on the starter at 24 volt. I've had that blue Kenworth I've got, and I went through about 3 of them because it sat around so long, and even if they just obviously pull more amps when they're flatter. So I end up putting a 12 volt starter on it and just throwing it in the bin, but there it is in there. Prick of a thing. I could be wrong, but I don't know if there's a problem with that. All the old fittings are corroded, and I might just put a set of leads straight on the starter. But I'm not sure if you can get a 12 volt starter for these. Possibly could. Anyway, this has sat here for I think 3 years or something. Can't really tell you much else about it. If we get the motor going, I'll just I'll do a walk around with it running and show you inside the cab, but I'm not going to move it because it's, as I said, it doesn't drive properly. If it was on a flat level hard paddock, yes, but not with all this green grass and a bit of a slope to the hill here, and I'll end up turning it off somewhere where I don't want it. So it's pretty much where we're at with this one. Hopefully he gets it on the road one day. He's going through some exciting family times at the moment, Josh, and he's just moving into his house, so the truck's the last thing from his mind at the moment, I'm sure, but good to see it in a shed or something, some sort of protection anyway. Alright, so I'll set up and we'll see what she does. She's thirsty. Oh, full anyway. Makes you wonder where all that water goes after they sit around. I'll probably run it long enough for it to get hot, but you want to make sure the water pump's lubricated and all sorts of things like that. check the oil on these things. There's the filler down there. Filler's down the front of it there. Gotta prime it too and find that starter. Probably better to throw the cab over on it. Pretty unique bull bar on it, I think, because some of the other trucks I've got here with bull bars, you've got to fold the whole lot down and they're heavy, but this is sort of split. And it's there's no weight in that at all, it just sort of folds in half, which is great. Unique to me anyway, there's probably a lot around. Certainly exposed now. Here's a look at her. Just reach in and get a old snag here. All the stuff falling forward of the mattress in the back of her. It's very muggy here today, very warm, so feel like I'm breathing heavy and I've had enough. I have. Okay, so there she is. Volvo engine. Sure they're rated 280 horsepower. 10 litre. In the G89s they were 12 litres, 320 horsepower. The radiator folds forward with the cab. Fan obviously stays there, it's part of the engine, but it's just got flexi hoses running to it. These are something bit me. That's pull that ring there, that's a cold start, gives it more fuel. That primer there, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing in that at all. She's picking it up though, so we'll have to crack a line here somewhere, let the air out of that. I generally take this diaphragm off here, so that bleeds the whole top of the pump. Got to crack a few lines after it, and that's fine, but it gets out of all the plungers, gets all the air out of those. We'll dip the tank. There's got to be a fuel gauge on the ground here somewhere. The tank over there is hydraulic, I think. Well, she's got plenty in her. Dip that. So we'll crack a line here, and I reckon I'll just cross the starter. Bleed her up first. I'll take this diaphragm. I've just cracked this off camera because the camera was in the way, but if you unscrew this, that will let all the fuel out of the top of all the air out of the top of the pump. So you shouldn't put your finger over high pressure stuff like this, but this is only a lift pump. It's not as high as coming out those injector lines there, which is thousands of PSI. So save your comments on that. Doesn't seem to be a lot of lot of air anyway. That's pretty good. I might just put that in there, leave it loose, and give her a few more and do it up and just see if it does start. Seems to be pure diesel too, no water. We've actually had a lot of rain since this is, a few years since this has been parked here, so water gets in some places that you wouldn't imagine it. Look at all that air now. I don't know that fucking car. I just had it right now. It's it doesn't feel right, but it might be just bypassing because it's build up pressure. Alright. I don't remember where the fucking dipstick is on this thing. I'm thinking it's probably out the front. Alright everyone, you can stop looking for it, I found it. It's in down here in the front. Issues in there, you wouldn't want to be late for work the first day trying to find check the oil in it before you left. She's there. It's over full to buggery too, so it is leaning downhill a bit, but not enough to do what it's doing. So hopefully it's not water and it's just over full. Could be diesel. Just hope that's not where that water went, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like clean oil, and it's, someone's probably overfilled it. But I'll try and set some batteries up. I'm just going to bypass the cab altogether. I think I'll just try and kick her over down here. 24 very mongrel of a thing to hook up, so you got this at 24 volts straight to the start of this lead here. Then I'll just go to earth on the chassis. I'll cross her over down in there, I reckon. Hoping it's not in full throttle because the lift the cab up, she's doing all sorts of wonders to. It doesn't look like it. Nothing we can't resolve anyway if she takes off. Couple of big N150 size cat batteries here. They should have the desired effect if they got charge in them. For those of you who aren't sure, to get 24 volt you've got to have batteries in series, being 12 each. Hook them up in series. So you go positive to negative, like that, and then the two remaining ones are your 24 volt. You put them in parallel, positive to positive, negative to negative, you'll still have 12 volt but a lot more amps, a lot more reserve. thing is using 24 volts. There's a lot of herbs there, and using jumper leads, you pull so many amps through these leads, they tend to spark and carry on. You don't get full meaning of what you want. But okay, so you're not going to be able to see the exhaust pipe, but I'll show you that when she fires, if it does. So it's sat here for, I reckon, 3 years. She's out of gear. I've got that ring pulled out for cold start. So cross her over and it's going to be sparks or smoke, or it's going to go. Filled my beer up with some sort of shit out of the exhaust pipe. So this here went to full throttle. This here, a cable is pulling on that. Right. So, runs beautiful. Up in her ear. I thought it had a capillary oil gauge in it, but it must be electronic because it's the only one working's the air. I thought it might have had a, oh it does there, manual one there, I thought it did. So it's good, it's got good oil pressure. Stinks a bit of rats in here, but as you can see, it's not in bad order. Pretty good, really. All that dash missing there's in the bunk here. She's building up here nicely. It's a shame we can't drive it, but as I was saying before about the gears, that's your maxi release brake. This is your splitter, so you got high and low range on the stick. You got 4 high, another 4, but in between all them you can split it with this here. That gives you 16. 8 split each time, 16. So full synchro mesh, just like a car really, but bloody nice truck, really good. I'd like to see it on the road, to be honest. Someone's been in here and had a quick cool one, but look on a bag of CCs. Not today. See my new haircut, how much I'm sweating. It's bloody terrible. There's no breeze or anything. So we'll do another quick walk around it. It's about all I can do. It's got an air clutch, I think. Still bled up. Hydraulic over air. Air over hydraulic. Whatever it is. It's got a hydraulic master cylinder. It's got a air slave cylinder. So bloody good order. I think it hasn't got a drill. I think that's all it's missing. It's pretty complete. Knock a bit of rust out. If you get it registered tomorrow, if we can find that drive problem. So that's the G88 everyone's been wanting to see. I can't really give you too much more on it. We can't, as I said, we can't drive it. That would have made a good video. But it will move here downhill, but to put it back is going to be a bit of a challenge. So we'll probably do a video, just thinking, do a video, pop them axles and have a look. But we'd have to go and find one. I've got a heap of 38,000 pound rockers here, but none I want to pull apart because they're all going. So. And that's the Volvo. Alright everyone, that's the G88 started. She started straight up actually, which is great. After I bled the air out of it, it sat there for, I'm thinking, 3 years. Started great. We can't drive it, as I said. It's got a broken drive axle, but it'll move out of here, but I don't want to get it stuck somewhere and have to get someone else to help me tow it back. So if you like the video, share and subscribe please. And we're actually going through at the moment a design for some basic t-shirts and caps, like trucker caps and normal caps. So it'll just be the logo that's on the, I'm sort of updating a little bit. Just basic stuff. We haven't got a lot of money to spend on at the moment, but if we do sell some of those, we'll put it into it and get some better stuff. But if you're interested in any of that, it is coming. It'll only be a small order to start with, but sort of getting the channel to a stage now where start distributing a bit of that stuff more for just friends and stuff around here too. If you're interested in that, let me know, but it's not available yet. We're still designing it and speaking with the people and stuff about that. But if there's anything else you'd like to see going here, I know there's a few things you've mentioned, but the stuff that has been asked for, I've got plans, like one of the old dozers. I'm not just going to start it up until we need it, so all that stuff you'll probably see in the video. I carted down here with the old steel bonded Mac. It's all tipped on top of the bank. We've got to push it up into a fire heap, so I think we'll use the old Alice Chalmers for that, and we'll start it up. And then obviously get my dad to drive it, and I'll video it. You see it working. It's pretty old, so there's other things in the coming up. More picking up equipment, more going to another show soon in a few months, so more getting stuff ready for that. And some exciting stuff, some I'll just video because we're doing it, but please, as I said, share and subscribe, and hopefully stick around for the next one. Thanks very much.